talk about Bookie. I want to talk about Brandon Webb's baby brother. Brandon Webb was shot and killed in June 1995. He was 17 and getting ready to play for Eddie Robinson and Grambling, the legendary Eddie Robinson. 4 years later, his brother, Brendan Radley-Hiles, was born to Brandon's mother, Brenda. Because he frequented the bookie with his godmother, folks took to calling him Bookie. Never met his brother. But to watch Bookie and to listen to and to hear and to read quotes from Brenda talking about him is to find out that Brandon seems to be there with Bookie all the time. And you can hear Bookie embrace playing for himself and the memory of a man he never met, but feels he knows deeply and spiritually. He told Jason Kersey in The Athletic, "I look at it like this. If there was anybody designed to do this, to take on this task, it was me. Anytime I might consider giving up, it gets wiped out of my mind because I have no choice but to keep going for him. I'm living for both of us." He grew up on Crenshaw and Imperial and in the shadow of a half-brother who played ball at Juniper Serra, a high school that produced All-Americans like Robert Woods, Dory Jackson, and Chris Richard, Dallas Cowboys. He grew up understanding his brother was unfairly shot and killed, and so he wore 44 for Brandon, because Brandon wore 44. The 1 year in his life he didn't wear the 44 was his junior season at Calabasas, and the number 1 just didn't feel right. He went back to the number that had such symmetry in his life. He was born on the 4th of August, 4 days apart from Brandon, who again wore 44. And he received all the gifts his brother wanted and didn't get. While Brandon was chubby, a linebacker, defensive lineman who wanted curly hair and washboard abs, his younger brother got all of those things. Got his brother's spirit, too. When he launched his body at tight end Blaze Gammons and came up with the most hellacious tackle of his career last year against Kansas State, Bookie told The Athletic he wondered why he'd done that. It's out of character. It wasn't him. He'd played bigger than his size. He played like his brother. He arrived at Oklahoma as the highest-ranked defensive recruit in over a decade. And he's at the beginning of leaving a mark that could put him on par with another 44 at Oklahoma. A fellow by the name of Brian Bosworth. In the age of the internet, in the age of social media, in the age of Twitter, this man has generated quite the following. And there are folks that might read his Twitter account or see his Instagram page and make judgments about who he is and what he stands for. Even in this very studio, I have gotten into an argument about whether or not you can really learn something from a kiddo who tweets, who puts up photos of himself, who drops the random lyric. I would say yes. These dropping these lines to get a response, not just any response, the one he's looking for. He's dropping these like a diary, like I wear my tattoos, like he wears his tattoos, like he has a tattoo that is a mural for his late brother on his back with a big 44 in the middle. A fella that went by Cisco. To see someone's tattoos is not unlike to read their Twitter profile, to read their tweets. It is them offering you the opportunity to understand them, to take a look at what it is they believe and what they want you to see. And it is important to take a look at what people want you to see, because that's your way in. If you are kind, if you give it some nuance, you will come to understand and you will come to respect the person on the end of a keyboard, or you won't. I've certainly got my fist balled on the internet, being of the internet, because I've decided to take a cynical view of things until somebody proves to me that they're being honest and they're being open and they're being trustworthy. It's one of the reasons that I leave my direct messages open to people that don't follow me, which is not a thing that other people seem to want to do. But as you continue to watch Bookie, as you continue to see him pick up things like the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week and win the Jim Thorpe Award Player of the Week. Continue to keep this story in your head about the relationship between him and a man he never met. When you see that 44 on his chest, forget about Bosworth for just a second and think about him. Think about 4 years removed. Think about 4 days removed. Think about believing in your soul that your late brother is watching over you with every move you make and empowering you to be great. And you can come to understand how the man has become a legend in his native Los Angeles and why this is a homecoming for him. And we are so proud of homecomings, are we not? That we get to call that kid a player for the Oklahoma Sooners. We get to claim him. We get to know his story.